Racial detail and all. That does look like a palace. Now, here's a question. Why are we building buildings that look like European palaces here in Chicago? Well, the young United States, we didn't yet know what our own style of beauty was, so we were still copying and pasting beauty from across the pond. Kind of wannabes at that point.
But they're both moving.
We came into our own style and figured out what we're doing. Now, if you got your cameras, here's the shot. See if you can catch the flags in the foreground, the clock tower in the background up there. They have seasonal colors and all different illuminations. This building's been illuminated since it opened in 1921. After the tour, the lights will still be on. Please walk across the street, go up close to this building, go in between the two towers and see the details. It's pretty spectacular there. Pretty spectacular. A lot of activity on the river tonight, people kayaking. If you get a chance, I do recommend the kayaking. It's a lot of fun. The Trump International Hotel and Tower, second tallest building in Chicago. It's a high-end residence and hotel. It is an excellent example of how of our fourth architectural style. It's called contextualism. Look up there. See those three patios? They're not arbitrary. They're each at the height of a neighboring building. The first patio, the Trump Tower, has where the Trump sign is the same height of the roof of the White Wrigley building we just talked about. The second patio up on the top left is the same height as this rocket ship shaped building across the river. And the third patio way up there, same height as the black box building next door to it. So it's acknowledging its three neighbors' heights. Also, it's tucked between a white building on one side, black building on the other, so he made his building silver gray to blend in. Site-specific designs meant to flatter the context. Contextualism. Now, this building, the Trump Tower, second tallest in the city, is designed by one of Chicago's premier architects, one of the most famous architects, a guy named Adrian Smith. We call him the world's tallest architect because he makes super tall buildings, not because of his height, including the tallest buildings. High-end residents, like I said, their penthouse sold 2 summers ago. $17 million. That's a little bit out of my price range. If you guys haven't had dinner yet, I recommend this place called O'Brien's. Got nice little burgers and salads and such. Of course, it's right on the Riverwalk, which is a great place to be. Okay, eyes up, cameras up. As we come under the bridge, you can see some of the most photographed buildings in the city. It is the twin corncob towers of Morena City. These are pie-shaped apartments, each with their lobed balconies. Now, here's their story. In the mid-1960s, there was nobody living in the city central business district of Chicago, and there was a Chicago architect named Bertrand Goldberg. And he was kind of the social scientist of the group. He wanted people to live in the city center, but there was no infrastructure for that. There was no grocery stores or movie theaters, so he had to build this self-sufficient, autonomous city within a city. He builds this utopian vertical stacked world where you can live above your yacht, because everyone's got a yacht, right? Live above your valet parked car. They don't trust you to back your car in, I guess. Live above your own restaurants, shopping, bowling alley, movie theater, office space, all in one convenient location. So this is an introvert's dream world. You can live, work, and play in your pajamas all day long. Fun little place, isn't it interesting? 1965. Over to the left, guys, look at all the people down here. This river walk, this is a Sunday night. You should see this on Friday Happy Hour. This river walk is just a couple of years old. $100 million project. It's a game changer for Chicago's relationship to this river. It was bringing citizens down to the river as never before. Wow, this is a fun day Sunday, isn't it? Over here to the left, Spanish folks. Over to the left, you see the white granite building with the mirrored glass following all the way up to the top, and you see a Greek temple. The name of the style, Neoclassic. You take something classic like the Parthenon and you remake it with new materials, clarifying key proportions of the roof lines, proportions of the columns. This particular building, designed by Ricardo Bofill, is as beautiful from Spain, is as beautiful at night as it is during the day. I'm telling you, I'm surprised the outside lights are not lit up on it yet. Hopefully they're turned on when we get back because it's pretty spectacular. Over to the left. I didn't mention there's going to be a test. Over here to the left. See the stadium seating amphitheater where all the folks are sitting? At lunchtime on weekdays in the summer, this gets about half full with people that I call loopers out here eating their lunch. What's a looper? That's somebody that works in the loop. What's the loop? Our subway system is called the L because it's elevated and literally makes a loop in the center of the financial district. So those that work in the loop, I would call loopers. I'm going to be on the test. Loopers. And they're sitting here watching the river go by. You know, Chicago is here because of this river. Mid-1800s, this little Chicago River was the waterway that connected the East Coast to the Mississippi River. That's back when everything was shipped by barges and schooners, so lots of merchandise came through Chicago, and it's been a hub of commerce ever since. Over to the left part of this building was built in 1927, the right edition 1987. Notice how they use modern material and styling to complement the old instead of ignoring it. Respect that architectural heritage. Here's another example. Look carefully at the bridge. Look carefully at the lamps and handrails if you can see it. This bridge is charming and classic and old school and vintage, except it's only 6 years old. It's an exact replica of the rusted 91-year-old bridge. Literally brought in on barges, jacked up, both along good for 91 more years. So with that Wrigley building, the first building in style we saw was looking to a handcrafted European style past. Our second architectural style, Art Deco, is looking to a machine-made American future. Here's what you'll see in an Art Deco building like the merchandise mark. Over to the right. Deep inset windows make soaring vertical racing stripes that draws your eye up. Stair-step setbacks. The building narrows towards the top. Telescoping towers, polished Indiana limestone, precision repetitive patterns, arrows, diamonds, octagons, and decorative metal on the outside of the building. These buildings were made for a different generation, the roaring 20s, the late 1920s. That was a time of prosperity, luxury, airplane travel, sophistication. They wanted an architecture that expressed that optimism, and Art Deco was just that. See the heads on the posts look like Pez dispensers? These are the merchant princes who shopped at the Merchandise Mart. Sears, Wanamaker, Filene, Montgomery Ward. Eyes up, cameras up as we're coming into Wolf Point. You're going to see 360 degrees of amazing residential constructions to the right, one-year-old buildings in front of us, but let's start here to the left because this coarse reflective glass building, 1983, is consistently voted one of Chicagoans' favorite buildings, possibly because this is where Ferris Bueller's dad worked in that iconic Chicago movie, also because it's an excellent example of how a building can conform to its context. The curve of the building matches the curve of the river. Two different rows of reflective glass, blue matches the sky, turquoise green matches the river water, and coarse reflective glass makes the whole world of the river. That's the point. Have you seen the neighborhood, guys? Sometimes I just like to park the boat right here and just chill nice. Oh, nice view. You get to see a train going by. How about the moon? We got that placed up there for you. Just so the photograph is right. See the blue
attention on board. Hey, folks, if you're going to use flash, we're okay with that, but you need to maybe angle it away. Do not point the flash towards the front of the boat. Thank you.
And it can distract the pilot house, that's why. Over here to the right, look at the grill of the handrail, right at eye level. You have to use your eagle eyeballs. Those, in the handrail, you'll see a circle with the Y in it. It looks like the upside down peace sign. That's the symbol of the city of Chicago that represents the three branches of the river where we are right here. Wolf Point. That might be on the test as well. Symbol of Chicago, circle with the Y. Loopers. The orange building in front of us, Fulton House, the oldest we'll see on the river, was built in 1898. Now here's a story. In the first half of the 1900s, Fulton House had no windows. It was a giant cold storage freezer building for the meatpacking business. Chicago was the hog butcher of the world, the city of broad shoulders. They would bring barges of beef from the stockyards on the south side, freeze them in the giant freezer, then offload them onto the refrigerated trim cars right behind to be shipped across the country. 1970s meat packing business goes away. They say it took 3 months for the building to thaw out as they cut through those 3-foot thick walls to make the balconies and windows. They discovered the walls had been stuffed with matted horsehair.
No more camera. Hết pin
Over
nè.
to the right, the bridge, 1908 landmark bridge, only goes up and down once a year for
Oh, cho nó
maintenance,
lên
but
lại này.
exposes how these Chicago-style bridges work. Think of a teeter-totter. That's how much of a
Sắp rồi, hết
concrete
pin rồi.
counterweight you need to balance this much steel. All these other bridges work on the same principle, except their counterweights are buried below. Over to the left. Over to the left, we got some happy people on their balcony. Look at these interesting triangular-shaped river cottages from 1989. In fact, the third of the 4 units sold 2 summers ago, $2.3 million. Now, when these were made in 1989, people thought this architect was kind of crazy. And it's not just for the unique shape of the building, but for having a house on the north branch of the Chicago River. But the north branch was kind of a stinky, smelling industrial branch. Why would anyone want to live up here? But he did help Chicago change its attitude and behavior towards it. It's been cool what's the good. All right, I'm going to give you guys a 2 or 3 minute break. Good time. I'm going to run down to see Jamie, the bartender, hit them heads, the bathrooms that are down on the right side. Chat among yourself. Maybe introduce yourself to the folks around you. Our captain's going to go up here and do a U-turn. I'm going to walk around and see if you have any particular questions, and we'll get going again in about 2 minutes.
कर लिया के लिए $80 जो है खाली करने के लिए
Anh đi vòng lại hả? Hả? Anh đi vòng lại. Đi để đi restroom á hả?
Just to let everybody know, when we're coming off the dock, that's not even the first time that somebody's let their dog drive a boat on the river. You know. We deal with a lot of stuff out here, yeah.